Oh, and we did get a question from Firebird Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you
Do you
think
think?
Sonic Forces
Oh,
will be good?
sorry, I'll let you read it.
No, dude, you started. I'll let you do that.
Do you think Sonic Forces will be good? And yes, I know I'm late to the party. Lol.
I think it's a little too early to say because I know they went off to a huge tangent about this last week. I think, given the very little that Sega are showing of it at the moment, it's just too early to say. With Sonic Mania, Sega wouldn't stop showing stuff about it, but I don't know.
It's like they're ashamed of Forces, or they're trying to give it a low key release.
Yep.
Trying to still ride the hype train on Sonic Mania.
Well, to be fair, Sonic Mania is probably one of the few new Sonic games that they've gotten right in the last few years, and I don't like it when people rain on some of the modern games. I mean, 06 deserved to be rained on without mercy because the programming for that game, no, just no.
It was an unfinished product.
It right there.
That's no good.
Unleashed, I feel, is sorely underrated simply because, it was coming off of the heels of a very poorly finished game or unfinished. And, here's a funny thing. Sega tried to do something new with Sonic simply because they don't want to do the same thing twice because it gets stale. Yet Mario does the same thing for the better part of 20 years. Everyone pats him on the back for it.
Maybe it's just like a quality. Maybe it's just like a quality thing. Like people who praise Mario maybe just like the fact that the quality has been more consistent throughout.
Yeah, the Sonic fan base, they tend to be a little less forgiving. One slip up and you're just scarred. You're just marked for life. And at the same time, they're kind of fickle. Yes. Sega tries something new with Sonic. They go crazy about that. They go back to their old roots. Oh, you're just rehashing the same thing over and over. It's a catch-22. Sega's damned if they do, and they're damned if they don't.
Which is why I was pretty surprised that nobody was like complaining about Sonic Mania, saying, "Oh, it's just a nostalgic fest," or "Oh, you're just pandering to older classic fans," or "Oh, you're unoriginal because you're going back to the sprites." I was surprised we didn't really see a whole lot of that, at least from my point of view. Yeah. I could be wrong.
Hey, look, we might in a bit. It's just that we're trying to recover from the episode with Oni earlier. We're just trying to chill at the moment because, good lord, this segment went on a while.
Yeah.
Plus, we got.
It's just when you see these games and you get negative feedback regardless, even if the game is good, it kind of makes you go, what do you want?
Exactly.
They want perfection. That's what they want.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Nothing is perfect. They're going to be holding their breath till they're blue in the face and die. Overboard, because I can kind of withdraw that statement.
Well, I do have to ask, like, why of all franchises is Sonic the one whose fans are the most vocal of, or the most? I'm trying to find the right way to word this.
Okay.
Where the Sonic fan base has a reputation,
right,
on the internet, a particular reputation. I'm wondering why, of all fan bases, why is it Sonic that has this reputation, and why are fans this noticeable when it comes to with Sonic of all things? I'm wondering why why Sonic of all franchises does it have these particular kinds of fans that give it this kind of reputation? It's something I've always kind of been curious about for the last couple of years.
You, me, and
I
everyone.
wish I had that answer.
Oh,
I think, to be honest, it's the fandoms. All fandoms are like that. Whether
Right,
it's
Oh
right.
yeah,
like-
every fandom to a franchise has its share of crazies.
So I'm just kind of
Yeah.
wondering why, like, Sonic is usually singled out over other franchises with crazy fan bases.
Well, to be fair, the Star Wars fan base also gets quite a bit vocal.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if
I'm
you guys
guessing-
know about that, but there is a fan like you do not know the Teen Wolf TV show fan base. That is that's a deep you do not want to go into. No.
Right.
I hear very similar things about the Fist of the North Star community. It's like you say one bad thing about it, they come at you with machetes.
Right. And don't get me started on the Godzilla fandom, where everyone's a bunch of immature idiots who are constantly like who can't take any sort of criticism, or they can't. So they're constantly arguing over what's the best monster ever, which movie's the best. You're right, you're wrong, or I'm right, you're wrong, and it's like you say you kind of speak an unpopular opinion, everyone get like dog piles on you, everyone jumps on a bandwagon. The American movies are better, the Japanese movies are better, you're a purist, you're a hater. It's
That's
like the gut
in general.
right.
Also sounds like the old school flame war of subs versus dubs, which has kind of quelled over the years that I've noticed since technology's been getting better here. So the dubs are more consistent in sync, and the voice directors have been getting better with their jobs.
Right.
And a lot of companies finally figured out that the best route to go is to try to stay close to the script as possible, all while being sure that the translation matches the motion of the animation.
Right. It feels like we never really had another situation like that we had in like the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and even sometimes in the 90s, where we would take a Japanese show from Japan and then completely change plot elements, character names, the tone, music. It seems like we don't really, like in America, we don't see that happening anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's trying to pull a DBZ where they try to replace all the music, or no one's trying to pull a 4Kids where they censor everything. No one's trying to pull and Americanize everything. No one's trying to pull a Robotech and stitch a bunch of shows together with that originally had no continuity.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that too. And at least in terms of DBZ with Kai, they kind of followed the original dialogue from the comic translations. Wait, manga, excuse me, or else I'm going to be running away from a lot of people going, it's manga!
Which is really funny because which is really funny because the Japanese would refer to anime and manga as comics and animation whenever they're speaking in English.
Yeah, I know.
So like they,
but at the same time, I would see an angry mob aggroing towards me, and if I did have my abilities that I have when I play WoW, I could just go, "Oh shit, vanish!"
What's even funny is that even at comics at quote unquote manga stores in Japan, they literally have it in the title "comics" in katakana.
It's like, guys, it's the same thing. Please calm down and please unlodge whatever stick you may have out of your orifice. Thank you.
It's all comics. It just so happens to come from another country.
Yeah.
That happens to print their pictures on a lower, cheaper quality of paper.
Oh God. Yeah.
Well, that's another thing. Whenever I show American comics to my adult students, the one thing they're always taken aback by is, wow, you mean to tell me that every page is in color? How much does this cost? It's like, oh, it's quite a pretty penny.
Oh,
Yeah.
I came here to answer
Excellent.
that Sonic Forces question.
Sure.
Sonic Forces question. Yeah, the one that somebody asked about Sonic Forces. I'm willing to give it a chance. Well, yeah, I'm willing to give that game a chance. Although I'm hearing a lot about it not having game overs and lives. And while I say keep it in there, my biggest complaint is that, like, as long as you make it optional to not allow lives and game overs, then I'm okay with it. But if that's mandatory, then the game is going to be boring as hell. And I think that partially came from the. There were a bunch of reviewers that were complaining that Sonic Mania had game overs and lives.
Right.
And according to them, they tell me that they say that it's so devastating when they get a game over in the second act, only to do the first, only to be forced to do the level over again. Here's my opinion. Chances are, if you go through if you lose in the first act, chances are you're going to know a little bit more in the first act as opposed to going right back in the second act. Also, on top of that, Sonic Mania has continues. That's what Sonic's always been known for. Yeah, it's always been known for having continues. You have to earn them.
True.
But still, you just earn your fucking continues, and then you'll be done with it. You won't have to start over to the beginning of the stage. And what I find it kind of funny because it's just like, oh well, it's just so devastating when I wind up getting a game over because I put so much hard work into it. I want to like this game. The game is so good, but god damn it, the game over screens. And I'm thinking, really, motherfucker, you're gonna say like the game is great. Everything about the game is great, but the score goes down. The biggest flaw is the fact that you lose a lot. The fact that you suck at it. Sure, buddy. Sure. And because of that, now we don't have. Because of that, they're supposedly not going to have game overs and lives in Sonic Forces. I'm thinking, wow, that sounds kind of boring.
Yeah.
But as I said,
Sorry, I'll let you continue.
No. Finish what you were saying.
All right, I was just going to say, without the live systems, and what's the point of having rings at all?
Exactly.
At least collecting rings.
Yeah, exactly. There's really no point in having rings if you don't have lives.
Unless you were to treat rings as like a life meter, where every time you get hit, you lose 10 or 20 rings.
Yeah, and that's understandable. If you lose all your rings, just grab at least one and you'll be fine. That's always been a staple of the older Sonic games. As long as you keep one ring, then you should be safe.
Right, but then again, like the incentive to collect rings has been mostly because I have been either to get the Chaos Emeralds or just to stock up on lives. But if you're not going to have lives, then why continue to collect rings?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, outside of, I didn't hear anything about Sonic Forces having special stages. Well, that'd be nice, but Sonic Forces, I think I don't know, like from what I'm seeing, it looks all right. I don't want to say it looks terrible like everybody else. I'm willing to give it a chance. Although it does kind of feel like the new the create a character thing really feels a lot like a lesser less interesting version of the shooting stages from Sonic Adventure 2, the ones with Robotnik and Tails. Yeah, it's what it kind of reminds me of, but it seems like it's a lot easier to destroy shit in this game as opposed to, in the other games. As opposed to, with that one where all you had to do was just target and, you'd shoot like maybe 5 different fireballs and shoot everything down, which was kind of fun. Sort of, in a way, it was kind of fun. I liked it. But I have no issue. I'm willing to give the game a chance. It could royally suck. Could be the end of modern Sonic as people are thinking it might be. Because if this is, then I really hope that they put Whitehead and the rest of that team in charge. I want Whitehead and Taxman and all those other guys to be the new Sonic team. Maybe that's just me.
All right.
Yeah, that's my opinion, anyways. I didn't mean to cut you
Okay.
guys off.
No, not at all. Don't worry about it.
Oh, good. I just didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, it's all good.